What is it going to be like on a Virgin Voyage?
Fun. I think that cruise ships are not, by and large, fun. They're very stuffy. You have massive big buffets, you have enormous queues. I've never been interested in going on a cruise ship, but I thought if we could create the kind of cruise ship that myself and my friends would love to go on, it could be a success. So, instead of buffets, we've got 35 individual little restaurants. Beautiful dance floors and discos.
And no children, right? This is adults only?
Yeah, we created something. We listened to our sailors, and even we talked to moms and dads. They needed a break from the kids as well. So we have a policy, it's adult by design, no children under 18. You know what? That allows us to do things that others can't. We don't have the screaming kids in the pool. We don't have the teenagers running up and down the hallway. So you can provide a much more sophisticated experience.
Now, you mentioned you wanted to create a cruise line that you and your friends would want to go on. Are we talking about friends like, I don't know, Barack Obama? Are we gonna maybe see him on a Virgin Voyage?
Well, you never know. I've got a horribly big birthday coming up, and I'm going to be inviting a lot of people I've known throughout my life, and there'll be some fun people on board.
Now, you said you have a big birthday coming up. Any chance you're celebrating by going to space?
Well, the next birthday in July, I'm hoping to be able to go to space. I'd love to be able to coincide it with the moon landing and go to space. So I've got the whip on the team, and we'll see how we go.
So you two have worked together for several years now. Would you describe him as a competitive person?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? The most successful entrepreneurs of all time.
That competitive spirit that you have, Richard, is that what drives the billion-dollar space race? How competitive is it between you, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos? Is it competitive at all?
I'm sure there's a little bit of competition, but actually it's taken us both 14 years to build our space lines. Creating a spaceship that can send people safely into space time and time again is the real competition.
Something that I think is so interesting that an executive from your company, Virgin Galactic, brought up is the idea of overview, being able to see Earth from outer space and how that changes your perspective. If you could send one politician to space to allow them to have that overview, a different perspective on Earth, who would it be?
Well, I think any politician who seems to be a bit divisive, and obviously Trump he's got a divisive side to him. You don't need the divisive rhetoric. Everybody just needs to get on.
What's your reaction to Howard Schultz running for president?
I do think that having the right kind of businessman in the White House makes sense. I mean, somebody like Mike Bloomberg, I think, would be very good in the White House. Maybe Howard Schultz would be good as well. You need, I think, a business leader that knows, is a really good businessman, but also somebody who's not a divisive personality.
He wants to rebrand the term billionaire. He says billionaires are getting a bad rap and they should be called people of means. Do you think there's something to that?
I think that billionaires have a massive responsibility to get out there and solve blindness in Africa, sort out climate change and other things. What we need is billionaires who are spending that money, not letting that money sit in their bank accounts, and sorting out the problems of the world.
I know you mentioned that you would be a fan of heavier taxes for the wealthy. Do you think that's one of the solutions?
Yes, as long as the government use it wisely. I think my absolute preference would be that the people who are wealthy make sure that they use that money to sort out big issues in the world.
Well, humanity is counting on you to get us to space and find us a new home, so no pressure, okay?
Thank you, and we look forward to having you up there one day.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.